G'day folks, we're back on the Caballus server. I've been away for a week for work over in New Zealand, and now that I'm back I was trying to think of what I could do just as a quick video to catch everybody up on the situation, and so I thought I'd have a look at the build that I've been doing. Now I've spent a ridiculous amount of time on this. There's actually still quite a lot to do. We'll have a look at what's happening later, and we'll have a look at what I have done. Now, I've built this rather large castle keep style building where the first two stories are essentially more your castle like thing, and then you have kind of like a church style, gothic style keep on top. Go down and have a look on the insides while we chat about what's going on. I still need to sort of fix up these stairs. They're not exactly how I want them to be, but that's fine. Nice drawbridge as we come into the building with a portcullis on the other side. I've managed to utilise the S+ mannequins, as some of the people in Whisperbirds community were saying. There's like you can use these S+ mannequins, dress them up so that they actually look the part. And I've grabbed a few decorations with flags as well as tapestries. There's a few little shield decorations as well. So I've got a really nice entranceway. I'm pretty happy with it. Nice big open area with the grand staircase leading up to the second floor. In terms of the bottom floor though, to the left, this is my entire crafting area. So I've got all the different crafting stations for the Atlas, the Ecos, S+ various things. We have the castle keeps and whatnot there, the usual S+ stuff. Some storage out the back with, this was the lovely interior decorating tables. This is what's actually been giving me a lot of the tapestries and things like that. The awesome teleporters, so that I've actually got a few places around the map that I can go to. And that was actually part of the decorators wanted to give me plastics. But these are all just crafting stations. And then on the other side, this is my cooking area, whether we've got one of the soul terminals, which has got the unicorns in there. And these guys are unicorns and Achatina. So I'm getting my cementing paste and we're getting unicorn poop, because when you have that stuff, you might as well grab some now. It does give you an XP buff. Right. Grab. So we've got a few minutes worth of sparkles, and at the same time we've got a nice XP boost. So we've got the S+ cooking stuff, which is all well and good. This is pretty much what I mainly use. And I went ahead and got the castles and keeps stuff, but the inventory sizes are a lot smaller, and in terms of piping work and electricity, you do need to supply these with gasoline and stuff to actually make them work. Unlike the S+ stuff, if you actually have a generator, an S+ generator, these things just work. And so I've got the S+ ones there just standardly, but I built these to actually see whether they looked good or not. Preserving bin and whatever else. We have our war room. And so this is where I've also got all of my trophies. And so in one of those ones, I think it was in the eco stuff, they actually had all the trophies. So I went ahead and built one of every single trophy and put it up on the wall. And so there's a nice arrangement of various different things with a nice map in the middle with a seating arrangement, so people can come in here and discuss the various battles that they may or may not want to do. Some candelabras, although they're pretty not that great in terms of aesthetics. Would have loved like a really big chandelier in this room. It would have actually worked out really, really nicely. This door is kind of superfluous. It leads to nowhere at this point in time. I eventually will have a ramp going down out there, but it's not really doing very much right now. As far as things go, this is actually where I am actually keeping my feeding trough, although there's no creatures out at the moment. This tiny little back room, it does absolutely nothing. It's just kind of a little corridor. I haven't decided if I want to do anything with this, and I was figuring that people who are responding to the video and watching it, maybe you could come up with an idea for this room. There are a couple of others which actually need some ideas, but this room at the moment is simply a hallway. Before we move up to the next level, out here we basically have the tech elevator, and so if I go down, it actually takes us to the very, very bottom floor. So I'm actually at the very bottom of my land bridge looking up, and so I've got a nice simple way of getting back up, and you can actually walk all the way around up to the very, very top, and it'll be kind of like there's a gateway to go through on that side. But here we basically have our tech lift. This will also take us up to the next story, where we've got the open air for the tech lift. In terms of this, we've got our walkway onto our wall, which is it's turning out pretty nice, that wall. There'll be a little tower all the way over that side. There'll be a gateway in amongst those trees, and eventually I'm going to build the wall so that it goes all the way around the outside on the other side as well, and box it all in. So I've got a nice neat fortress. It's actually pretty cool. You can stand up the front here and look over the gateway. Nice little glass accoutrements. And in here on the second floor, as you come up the grand staircase, you actually move into, I guess, kind of like your dining area. So if this place was ever used for entertaining, this would be where all your guests would be able to sit down and enjoy their meal. Nice grand fireplace. We'll see if we can get some wood up here. Then light the fire. Nice little thing. It's actually got the symbol. I think that was Scorched Earth that originally implemented that. So you got the 4 bosses, and the top is the Manticore. And so in one of the caves, it's actually got that on the wall. Some nice other things. I'll have a look at these rooms in a sec. I've got these maps. These war maps appear to actually pull the actual map that you're on. So that's actually the Caballus map, as opposed to the war table, which was the generic island map. We'll turn the lights on because it'll add a bit more of an effect. Alright, yeah, I've basically pin coded every single light in the place, so when this gets dark, it's lit up quite nicely. It does get a little bit noisy. So in this first room here, this is the master bedroom. So we've got a nice little couch, globe, table, just a few little decorations with a nice bear rug, little bird just hanging around, as well as the king-size bed, little storage and some books on the side. So I really went to a fair bit to decorate this. I feel like I could probably put more on the walls, possibly get some of those tapestries just to give a little bit more warmth in terms of its look and feel. In terms of this room over here, again, this is a blank room. I don't really have anything going on. However, out the back here, again, this rather large room here is actually doing nothing. So I'd love to actually have a purpose for this room, but with the stairs and with the castles and keeps, it treats these angular pieces as actual squares. And so if you try and build something near them that's also a triangle, so if I tried to fill in the triangle underneath, it will actually break that handrail, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about the handrail, but I know that with some of the ones that actually treats them like squares, and so if you put a half triangle underneath something which is also a half triangle in the castles and keeps, it breaks them, and it's kind of a little bit frustrating. But it may be good to try and close this in and then come up with some idea for this room, or close in the open air that's up there. I haven't actually worked it out. And obviously this room here, you can kind of see I've got another tech elevator up there, but it's not utilised in this room. It's actually utilised from up there, which we might as well go up now and have a quick look. So we come up, so this nice staircase bringing us up to the open air here. Kind of, as I was saying, I want to fill in these sides, and I can obviously put a nice big doorway there, but I kind of like how it's open, but having a doorway probably makes more sense from a castle point of view, because this essentially is just like a direct way in that you don't want. Why those doors haven't shut, I don't know. It's auto close and open. Weird. Anyway, nice little, as I was saying, it's a Gothic style church in terms of a keep. Had a little bit of fun trying to come up with ways to utilise the various different things. So there's actually a half wall or a half railing that's actually going up there, which gives you the accent going along there. There's some actual decorative accents that you can actually build in castle and keeps. This was actually a large doorway, which you can actually then put a large glass in there. And these are actually pillars. They're actually providing those little bit of not quite crenellations, but you kind of get the idea. We did that with all of the little doors and the little peaks. Anyway, let's hop inside. And here, I was very happy with how this turned out. We've got the grand red carpet coming in with the pews, which are then overlooking a rather foreboding throne, which has then got the nice red flames on either side with a couple of NPCs essentially watching over it. Rockwell's throne, I think it's called. But this is what I spent quite a fair bit of time. You can actually see in the ceiling the various decorative triangular pieces to form the trusses which are holding up the rooftop. And that's where I was saying where those were half triangles. If I put another half triangle underneath them, it would break them and everything would just come crashing down. But again, you've got the tapestries, we've got flags and all the rest of it, just to give it a whole heap of really kind of fill the space to make it look like it's actually got something going on. Right, up we get. So yeah, really loving this keep. It's done very, very well, and the lighting is quite nice too. It might be interesting to see if do something other than red to see how it plays out. As we move through to the other side, this is actually going to take us up the tower, and so we can actually use the tech lift. Now, I went with a tech lift because the stairwells, the Castleton Keep doesn't have a spiral staircase, which is an absolute pain. I would have loved to have put a spiral staircase in here going all the way to the top. There just wasn't one available. But the Castleton Keep's parts are a different size than the regular ones. I mean, you can kind of see the tower that we're actually progressing up. I am planning on doing something with the top up here. We can kind of get onto our roof up here and walk around if we really, really want to. Get up the tech lift a little bit more. This takes us to another doorway. And here I'm planning on building, probably using the thatch pieces. Although I believe I can use the S+ stone or metal pieces and you just make them look like they're thatch. And I will have the bird aviary all the way up the top here for the Argentavis, essentially to come land in, and I will then progress down the tower from this point. But yes, this is essentially what I have been spending weeks upon weeks making it happen. And down there is my farm that we will actually be able to notice from previous episodes. Managed to get that one's actually made out of the Atlas pieces, and it's actually been doing very, very well. I've got the little S+ bees on the side, and it's actually got a it's a craftable well. We'll actually go and have a look at that. In terms of the kitchen that I have, I forgot to actually mention that. I'm going to run all the way down, although I could probably fly down. Down, 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 down. I have a hidden water source, because our industrial cooker here is actually plumbed and irrigated. You can't actually see any of the stuff that's going on there, because outside here, hidden within the flooring here, is our water vein. You can kind of see it poking out of the flooring, and so there's actually invisible pipework that's running through up into the walls, and we're actually getting water irrigated to our industrial cooker, which is fantastic. I don't have to worry about seeing any of it, and I don't have to build huge amounts of pipework to get to the nearest water source. As we look under this grand staircase, this is also where our power source is. So this is where I've got my generator and some air cons to keep everything nice and cool, as well as my main sol terminal, which has got most of my creatures in it, at this point in time at the very least. And that's probably the grand tour of the inside of the base. We'll go out there and jump on the Argent. We'll have a look at what's going on with the walls. So, as we look over here, so that was the lift all the way down to the baseline. Currently, I have built the crenellations for the entire battlement across my little chasm. I'm building a circular tower here on the other side. I'm not sure how tall I will make that. It may only go up a couple more, but it has a side entrance to bring it down to the ground floor, where the wall will eventually have a rather large gate on this side. And then this wall follows the whole thing all the way around, and it is going to go all the way around. I'm planning on basically making this follow the entire cliff line all the way around here, and kind of see that it's still going there. And this little bit, I'm going to put a small tower there. It's quite hard to see that I've actually put just a singular hexagon there, but there'll be a hexagonal tower, basically hexagonal. I think it's hexagonal tower right there on the point, so I'll be able to overlook this lovely view. Other than that, the wall will continue all the way around and joins back up here at the main keep, where I'm planning on having another drawbridge, which will then have the pathway, which is my alternate exit down here. This goes all over the place down this way. If I wanted to, I could obviously expand far more, because we've got these two little arms leading off my area here, and they just keep going. They go all the way down. Eventually you can't build down there because there is a cave below it, but for now I'm just going to keep it for this upper area, and as it is, I've already cut it short. I'm not doing that entire spot over here. Unlike this one, I'm wrapping around so that I cover up my entire greenery up here, the greenhouse. Have a quick look up here at the greenhouse at the very least. I'm still working out what I want to do with this, whether I actually build a bridge over to the main keep or leave it as an isolated thing. But I can actually stand over there and use the S+ mod to pull all of the veggies out of the garden over there, and I don't actually need to come over here anymore, because that little sol terminal there has some creatures which are generating the poop, and it's got the dung beetles, so they're producing fertilizer as well, and so that solar terminal actually does all of the distribution necessary to keep that running. Probably the only thing I need to be careful about. I've still got 100 rare flowers, but I'm going to need to go get some more by the looks of that. Need to be careful with that one. Anyway, that's the grand tour of the base. The plan at this point is on my Arc Down Under series. I should be moving in to do the caves next, or at least the first 3 caves to be able to do the Broodmother. So that should go fairly smoothly. I should be able to produce that video fairly promptly. Hopefully within the next week I should have the caves done, potentially working out what creatures I'm going to be using in that for the boss fight, as well as prepping the boss fight itself. But we'll see how I go. Only just got back from New Zealand, so taking things easy, go with a nice little simple video first of the fun things that I've been doing here on the Caballus server. We should probably keep an eye out for Whisperbirds, as she's apparently going to be doing a tour of all of the bases. And that's something that I could possibly do. I won't do all of them in a single video. It'll be more a case of, as I'm playing, if I come across one of the bases, I may just showcase it a little bit as I'm flying past, depending on what I'm doing. Alright, thanks for listening in. I hope you found the base fascinating. And if you have any ideas for a couple of those rooms that I sort of went through and I didn't actually have any in there at this point in time, I'd love to hear your ideas, as I need to fill them out with something a little bit more than what I have already. Alright, thanks for listening in. Catch you in the next one, and have a good one.